I guess I would say the only thing this game that I'm going to show you today has in common with the previous one is that sometimes you do have to shoot apples at someone to protect yourself. So this one is called Animeter, and it's a kids game or family game for 2 to 5 players. Also takes around 15 to 20 minutes to play. And in this game, you will be in charge of a team of cute animals. And Derek, actually, we have some pictures of the game. I think that might be.
Yeah, you can bring the Derek. You can bring the pictures
on while I will be talking about them
on the screen.
Yeah. So you will be in charge of a pack of animals, and there are three kinds of animals in this game, as you can see now on the screen. There are mice, there are hedgehogs, because, well, right now we have to include hedgehog in basically in every game that we make. And of course the rabbits or hares. Now, all of these animals, they do have their special abilities, which I will come back to a little bit later. But what's happening to them is basically winter is coming, so they have to gather supplies for winter. And this game has both competitive mode and cooperative mode, and we'll quickly show you how to play competitive mode, and then I'll talk briefly about how the cooperative mode is different. Spoiler alert: you play together in a cooperative mode. So, what's the deal here? If we come back to the table, to overhead camera, you can see this sort of tapes, sort of like a measuring tape. That's actually a tree. Hopefully you can see that there are apples on that tree, red and yellow. Yellow are worth 1 point and reds are worth 3 points. And you see those omnivorous eyes in the trees. Those are predators. You have to avoid them. Now, as you can see, the animals that you have on your cards, they all have different heights. And I think you pretty much already guessed what's going to happen. You're going to have to stack the animals on top of each other, not the cards on top of each other, but actually looking at the top of the animal head, you have to put your next card on top of this one like that. And using, here's the thing. One of these is chosen for the game, and it's placed in the middle of the table. So you're not actually building your tower right next to the tape. You're building your tower in your sort of playing area. And you can only use your eye measuring skills. You have to measure them by sight.
Which one you prefer?
We'll play the 2-star one. Okay. So you have to actually measure it by sight and sort of guesstimate where your tower will end up. So here, for example, a hedgehog standing on top of a mouse, he will reach this apple, and I would get 1 yellow apple at the end of the game.
Actually, you don't need to get to exactly the apple height. You got to go into a segment, so yeah, it's not so complicated.
It may not be that visible on the camera right now, but there are segments, and what matters is which segment you have reached. Now, I think before we start, it's important to mention the special abilities of each type of animal. So, first of all, the hedgehog is not afraid of any predators. If it so happens that your tower actually reaches the predator sector, normally you would have to throw apples at them to protect yourself. And so you lose victory points effectively. But if it's the hedgehog who's here, you don't have to do anything. He's not afraid of any predators. Now, the mice, they're very small, so they can get pretty much everywhere. And as you can see, sometimes on the tree, you will see hollows like that. Normally, you would not be able to collect apples from there, but if there's a mouse, it will go inside and collect extra apples for you. And we do not have any good hares here to show.
No, they're good, all of them.
But I want the one with the ears pointing up because it's more clear. So here's the hare. They have really strong ears, like really strong and nimble, apparently. So when you place a hare when he's on top of your tower and reaches a certain sector, you can actually choose which sector you have reached. Basically, you can either measure by top of his head or by top of the ears. So you do have, for example, here it's very clear that if I choose the top of the head, I only get one apple. But if I measure by the top of the ears, I would get 2 apples, which is really good. So we'll show you how the game plays now. The turn structure is extremely simple. We all play at the same time, basically. At the beginning of the game, we get 4 cards.
Okay.
And we simply choose one card simultaneously, and then we reveal it and start building towers. Now, we can actually build up to 3 towers. We don't have to. We can dump all the animals into one tower, which will be extremely stupid. But we can build up to 3. If you reach the same sector twice with 2 different towers, that doesn't help you, actually. So
basically, you try to aim to most the profitable areas.
Get apples.
Yeah, get apples and avoid predators. So you play one by one. Everyone builds in front of himself. So it's in the mode you will do opposite. Okay, so reveal
and we immediately replenish the cards, starting with the youngest player, which is that's me.
Autumn. So basically, in the competitive mode, you only compete. You don't like do much of interaction. Okay, let's do it. Kind of.
Alexander, if you could just push up your cards, we would see it easier.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. But it was a secret. Okay.
Okay.
So that should be.
And
okay.
While my colleagues are hard at work choosing their cards, I have to mention that we have 3 different tapes, and they
are double-sided, by the way.
Different difficulty levels. Yeah. So this is the 2nd level that we're playing right now.
So we have 6 in total because they are double-sided. Okay. Actually, we have extra special abilities we haven't mentioned. If you build a tower of the same kind of animal, they all have another special abilities that we will mention.
But that's for advanced mode, and we're playing
the loser mode. Simple. Okay.
The total number of cards we're going to play, each and every one of us, is 9. So
okay,
we're actually more than halfway through.
So where is my? So everyone, are we still on 3?
And we have to play 9 cards. That's the problem.
Yeah, actually, sometimes you don't want to, but you have to. So choose wisely. If you use very tall animals all the time, then you find that you actually can end up with a tower which is too long. Yeah. And if you actually go away, so the last segment is the predator. So if you go away, it means that you still touching the predator, which is bad.
Yeah, the topmost of the tree is essentially where eagles.
So you have to go. You have to avoid going over. Oh,
it's not looking good for me. It's
yeah. Okay. Yes. 6. So we have a last one.
We have the last card to play, and
which is a kind of.
I'm pretty confident, so here we go.
Not at all. Just wait with me, please. Wait for me. Actually, we can do this. Can probably help me. Okay. So now is the end of the game. We're going to actually measure the towers one by one.
That's the most exciting part, of course, because you have to check how accurate you were. So should we start with me?
Yeah, okay. Let's start with Artem.
So I take the tape now and I sort of apply it right next to my tower. So the bottom part of the tree is right next to the feet of the first character. And then we see which level I reached. Okay, so this is a mouse, and as you remember, he can collect the apples from the hollow.
So he has all the apples, 3 of them.
I get 3 of them.
Good.
Next,
you need to slide your towers onto the board, into the center of the table.
Yeah, sorry.
Like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So
Uh-huh.
This one's not good. This one's a predator. So immediately I lose one apple, and then
Okay, actually you can discard the ones you already used.
and let's see.
This is so actually you can
It's-
use the special ability of the rabbit.
Yeah, I can use the special ability of the rabbit. As you can probably see here, let me look at the camera. Yeah. So if I were to choose to measure the tower by the top of the head, that would be a predator, which is not good. But if I choose to measure by the top of the ears, I get one apple. Why not three? You may. Oh no, I don't get anything because
Why?
I was already.
Ah, you
in
already
the
scored
sector
this.
before. Yeah, I already
Sorry
scored.
about that. So
So the total is 2 apples, which is
not so exciting. The beginning was quite cool, but okay,
Yeah.
let me check if I did better. So we can actually discard it. So let's check. This one, okay, it was too tall. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. No, it's fine. Actually, I get 2 apples because I go here. That's fine. Now, this one is done. This one is good as well. So the mice is just a little bit in this segment, so I have 3 apples. Okay, that's a good start. And that's here and here. Okay, actually, I can choose to use the top, the top of the rabbit or the ears. Ears serve for nothing here, but the top is very nice because I get 3 apples more, which is kind of nice. So, yeah, correct.
so that's not a hollow.
No, it's not in the tree, just in the dark. But it's not the same. We are not afraid of the dark, we are a bit strong ones. So basically it's quite efficient, I would say. Okay, so this one was, yeah, okay, it's just, I think it's just below, so
It's
it's okay.
below the
It's okay. So you get, but it's, since it's not a mice, you get 1 apple.
And if you're right on the line, you can choose which area you go into.
Okay, it's a family game. It's not like a very too competitive.
Okay, so I'm
That's
so
great.
lost.
Yes, great.
So
Free apples again. Yeah, okay, let's do not destroy the tower. Actually, you have to put it on top of the head. It's not.
no.
Sorry. That was the kind of tricky
So I can measure.
here or here. Yeah, but it's still. But you have scored this app. She scored this segment already.
So I don't get it.
Yeah. So basically, it's full game. So I'm sorry, but I got 8.
That's basically how all the games and lifestyle board games go, all the tests.
No,
you,
it's
you
not.
kind of pretend to play really badly so that Alexander feels good about
But,
it.
okay, we'll discuss it later. But actually, well, I'm just good at, okay, I was sitting in front of the meter, so it was maybe a little bit of advantage, but I also played it a lot because I was involved in development. But actually, there are like special things, we may explain the special
Yeah,
extras or
so
stuff a bit
as I
more.
mentioned at the beginning, I think I'll start with cooperative mode. So
Yeah.
it's really cool for any kids.
Yeah,
game.
for the kids
When-
which lose normal water,
when-
it's very
yeah,
comfortable,
yeah. When it has both cooperative and competitive modes, because people like me can enjoy it in a cooperative mode. So it basically plays according to mostly the same rules. The only difference being you're playing together to win against the game. So your goal here is a little bit different. You have to reach all 5 sectors with apples, and building like towers together. So you'll have 5 towers, and you have to reach all 5 sectors. The interesting thing here are those eagles. So of course you'll have cards on your hands, and you cannot show them to other players before you put them in one of the towers. But you can actually discuss, and you kind of have to discuss because otherwise it'll be really hard to win. You have to discuss like what kind of animal you have, what kind of height, approximately at least, and therefore you build a strategy like which animal goes to which tower. But as you can see here, on some cards there are eagles in the skies, and so those eagles actually affect the gameplay. If there is none or one eagle visible on the table, then it's okay. If there are 2 eagles, then you have to stop talking. and that happens. That actually stops when you cover the eagle with the next character. So over the course of the game, the number of eagles can be different. But if at any point in the game there are 3 eagles at the same time on the table, you basically lose the game because eagles come and sweep down on you and eat everyone. Actually, in the rules it says that we have to scatter and therefore we don't collect any apples. But I like to think that they actually
there's no
eat
bloody
them.
part about it. Like it's automation event. It's
Yeah.
not in the game.
So the cooperative mode is actually it's different enough from the competitive, and it is quite interesting, especially when you have to discuss like using very approximate measurements, like well he's sort of tall but not exactly, and that sort of thing. And there are actually advanced rules with some extra special abilities, which are really cool. But those extra special abilities, they only work if you manage to make a combination of 3 animals of the same kind in your tower. So, for example, if I manage to collect 3 mice like that, their special power is they take a clip. Those will be a little bit different in the final version of the game.
Yeah.
So there can be apple clips and predator clips, and you can change how the tree looks, because you can attach the clip to some sector, to any sector that you want to. For example, here I attach the predator. So right now in this sector there are 3 apples, but there is also a predator sitting there.
-1.
Yeah, so it's -1. Or I can attach, for example, I know for sure that I'm going to reach this one, and for some reason, I don't know, I'm confident, and I can attach the apple clip to here, effectively making this a 5-point sector, because there are 3 for red and 2 for yellow.
Yeah.
For the hares,
Actually, the effects are working like this in the base game in competitive mode. So it's not only for cooperative.
yeah.
Because in coop mode it's a bit different.
If it wasn't clear, it's for all types of games, for competitive and cooperative. So the hares are pretty cool since they have very strong ears. If you put 3 of them together, you can actually make it sort of a telescopic tower. So it will fold like this. You can actually choose where to stop.
No, you have to stop on the ears. Sorry, you cannot stop anywhere. You have to stop on the ears.
Well, of course, on the ears. I'm not saying that you can stop on. Yeah, you have to stop on the ears.
Yeah, sorry, no, not anywhere.
But you can make a telescopic tower of the hair.
So basically, you can do this, or if it would be this rabbit would be in the middle, for example. So by default, you put everyone on the top of the head. But for example, if you manage to make a combination, you can, for example, extend it like this. So it's kind of very strategic. You can adjust your tower if needed.
Yeah. And finally, if you put 3 hedgehogs together, they allow you to take the tape and put it anywhere on the table to perhaps try and see how well you're doing, actually before the end of the game. This is very useful, but it's very important to understand that it's not like, okay, you take it and you apply it to every one of your towers and you check. You just place it at one place on the table and then you check, and then you have to back back. Yeah. So these are basically the rules of the advanced mode. Those are for players who already are quite experienced with the base game, want to spice it up a little bit perhaps. Overall, the game is very easy to understand. I hope I made at least a decent job of explaining it. It's fast. It is quite intriguing when you play it. Even and when we tested it, when we played it as adults, it's it's quite competitive. You do actually want to do better than others, especially in competitive mode. As you see, I failed today to do that, which is totally okay. I will just play cooperative mode.
But actually, it's quite fun. I mean, it's fast and very, very light. It's like 15-20 minutes to play. Actually, not really much depending on the number of players. And it's fine up because basically you don't do much of counting. You just see, okay, 3 apples, so you like put 3 crystals, so you just take them one by one. So the kids can do it. We tried, it works very well. And actually, this kind of eye estimation skill is more or less available for everyone. I mean, kids can do it. They can grab the concept and they can, they build the tower, because building the towers is something they can do from the very early age. So it works very well, and again, it's for adults. It works as well. It's quite competitive. I mean, if you play together, and we played like a full game, but basically, if you are playing with adults, we suggest like you play like 3 rounds or something like this, so, or a number of rounds, and they count the total of apples. Because in this case, you can a little bit balance maybe the bad luck of the first round or something like this.
Yeah, and one of the most important thing for a kids game, I think, in my personal opinion at least, the artwork is very cute.
Yeah.